Another day, another change that no seller asked for on Amazon. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm sales director here at My Amazon Guy. And what the heck am I talking about? Well, Amazon decided to release yet another change, or a potential change, I should say, that no seller has ever asked for. I mean, maybe some, but realistically, why would you? So, what exactly am I talking about? Well, let's dig into it. So, first and foremost, this was brought to my attention by Spencer. Shout out him for actually posting this. Surprisingly, this actually came out last week on Monday, but I'm just now hearing about it, just now seeing it, in fact. So, kind of odd that it flew under the radar, but essentially, Amazon sent out a survey to a limited number of people on the selling partner last week talking about titles. What specifically? Them testing a two-part title format. Now, before we dig in further to that, I want to remind you, if you haven't seen my video last week talking about main image optimizations and hacks and how Amazon is changing those, this is going to be very important towards that later on in the video, so go check that out. So without further ado though, talking further on this, they essentially say, we understand that you need to communicate multiple aspects of your products from basic identification to unique features and benefits. Currently, all of this information gets compressed into a single title, often resulting in lengthy descriptions. Now, for anyone who's ever worked on click-through rate optimization for titles in general, you should know that your first 5 keywords of the title should be the most descriptive of your actual product and what it is. So always that has been just the case for click-through rate for this exact reason, is that is what people see when they are searching on their phone or searching on the computer. They see those first 5 keywords. That's what they're going to read. So this means customers might miss some of your product's key selling points. This is true. So their solution, a smart, quote unquote, two-part structure, we're introducing a more intelligent way to present your product information. 1, clear, concise title, focused on essential identification elements, brand, product type, model, style, flavor, size, and variation. Okay. New, product highlights, a dedicated space to highlight your product's unique benefits, features, and competitive advantages. If I was somebody who knew anything about Amazon, thankfully I am, that sounds a lot like bullet points, if you ask me. That's actually the exact purpose of bullet points, and in the past, bullet points were specifically product features instead of bullet points. So, bit odd for them to say it exactly like that, because that is the purpose of bullet points at the end of the day. Now they're saying that it's going to be title. So, let's read further. We're still fine-tuning these specifics, including character limits for each section. This is where I'm worried, because we already character limits on titles as is iffy. Rest assured, our goal is to provide you with ample space to effectively communicate your product's value. We're committed to making this transition smooth and beneficial for your business, blah, blah, blah. The benefits for your business. So now we're getting into the benefits they're talking about of a change like this. Better visibility. Core product information remains clear and prominent across all platforms. Enhanced marketing, dedicated space to showcase your product's unique selling points. Already have that in the title and the bullet points. Improved customer experience, easier for shoppers to find and understand your products. Again, already have that. That's just SEO in the A10 algorithm. Flexible display, future opportunity where your product highlights will appear contextually based on customer search behavior. Again, that's just bullet points, unless they're talking about specifically in the search maybe. And then finally, full control. You maintain complete control over how your product stands out in the marketplace. False. So this would be a huge change. Other marketplaces have tried this exact structure of a two-part title in the past to utter failure, to be honest. Amazon's title and how it works currently, even the changes of removing the brand name out of the title and putting it above the title, I think that's one of the better ones out there as far as title goes. I think this is just dumb. It realistically is, but it points more towards, again, if we circle back, to the main image hack death. So the death of the main image hack last week, I talked about how Amazon is starting to take away the main image hack and not allow it to actually be shown. Makes a lot of sense if they're wanting to move in this capacity, because what is the point of the main image hack? Well, it's to take some of the more descriptors and unique identifiers of your product, what makes your product unique, and display it as clear as day in big bold words for your top keywords and your top unique identifiers on your main image for people to see. Well, Amazon theoretically wants you not to do that. Instead, they want it to be in the title. The issue is, at the end of the day, pictures are for people and text is for robots. Nobody's reading the titles as is, and they will not read it with this either. I can almost guarantee it to you. Bullet points, the reason people have used those for years for nothing more than SEO boost is because, again, people don't read it. People buy products on Amazon off of the designs and off of the designs being the primary converting factors, right? That is how you display information on the platform. You only get so much space, and pictures are 80%, if not more, of that entire space as is. People don't like scrolling, right? They take 3 seconds on a single listing. This, in my opinion, is just another one of those areas where it very clearly shows that Amazon doesn't use their own platform, right? Amazon isn't out there and being a seller. They're not even being a buyer at this point in time, and they're not looking at true experience across the platform, how people actually purchase products, right? So if you are a non-name brand product of some kind and you're not being searched for from, a specific feature, I understand the aspect of that, but all they're talking about here is just making SEO more prominent, right? And I understand that from the feature of, yeah, it's really good. Let's make that more prominent. Why does it have to be in the title? Why can we not have it in the main image? Because that's been working for people for years, and it's actually a uniqueness to people's listing at the end of the day. So I think this is just one of those changes that Amazon's trying. I understand over the last year or so, they've really been trying to hone in things such as the title and make the platform as a whole as standard as possible. But Amazon themselves on products that are on Vendor Central are using things like main image hacks, but not allowing other people to, and then making changes like this. So this is a thumbs down as far as changes go, and one that not many people asked for. If you did get this survey, I hope you voted against this in some capacity, because a lot of the benefits that they talk about there are, one, benefits you already get from standard SEO within the algorithm, and then two, things you would get if you just implemented something like a main image hack or just added your top 5 keywords to the very beginning of your title at the end of the day. So I'm not a huge fan of this. It realistically, I think, is going to be a change that isn't going to be good for even the customer because, again, a lot of people don't read. They spend 2 to 3 seconds reading on Amazon, right? They're not looking at the full title. Maybe part of that is this change where people don't read, and that's what Amazon's trying to get them to do, is actually read things on the platform. Who's to say? If they can make it so that this dedicated space, so to speak, on unique identifiers isn't just a jumbled mess of keywords, because that's all it's going to end up being, in my opinion, then yeah, I think maybe we might be able to get people to start reading on the platform. But when you start extending the customer journey, you hurt conversion rate, you hurt click-through rate, and overall, I don't see this as a general good for sellers at the very least. It might be a general good for Amazon in how the entire platform looks and works and functions, but for the general seller, I'm not seeing this as a huge benefit. So we'll keep you posted as more comes out about this. They haven't released anything officially yet. If we know Amazon at this point, they're going to just start shadow testing this across the board, releasing it to a couple accounts here and there over time, and then eventually the entire platform is going to have it, and they're going to say, yeah, you have to do it this way. So we will see. If you like more news like this and you like learning about Amazon, feel free to like this video, subscribe down below. We post videos and content like this all the time. Thanks.